Hey guys, today I wanted to create a sort of discussion with other animators and illustrators about the various ways that you can create a business from the craft of animation. This is a subject field that I am actively working on. We can create a discussion from this and we can share different methods that we can use to create a business in this economy of animation, and hopefully together we can bring animation back. And the way I see it, the only way we can do that is if we create real business opportunities from animation and illustration and art, ones which benefit the customer and that benefit the creator. So right now I see a lot of different problems with animation, one of which is, well, I see it's not respected that much as an actual business and it's seen as more of a hobby. And these are some things that I think we need to tackle in the future. And also the fact that it's undervalued because a lot of people don't understand the process of creating an animation and how many different steps are involved and how many disciplines you need to have to create a good animation. But anyway, those are some other issues that I'll get into in a different video. For now, what I want to talk about are some of the methods. The first one on my list is the pretty obvious one. So this is freelancing or joining a studio. So freelancing is kind of like a one-man band. You are the complete creator of the animation and clients come directly to you. You know, you talk with the client, they work directly with you and you create their animation for them. I have done this in the past and I'm probably going to do it more in the future, and I quite like it because there's a few different benefits for freelancing compared to working with a studio. The main one is you get all the credit, which is nice. So you get complete credit of making the animation. You're listed there in the credits, it's just your name and that's it. And that's nice. It can be quite difficult though. There are some difficulties with it. One of them is that you're pretty much in it on your own and you don't have many people to turn to for help. You can talk to friends about help. Sometimes if you've got some really nice friends like I do, they'll be willing to just, a favor for a favor and they'll help you out. That's really nice. But for the most part, you're going to be just completely isolated on your own doing the animation. You've also, if you're just a complete lone wolf, you're going to be negotiating on your own, and so you're going to have to be working with the client. You're going to be handling the email side of things as well. That's when an agent can come in and really help you out. There's a lot of freelance animators have an agent who takes a cut of their animation fees, and that's their payment for that, and they will help you get jobs and they will talk to the client and discuss all of that and set you up with gigs. And it's in the agent's interest to do that because then they will get more money the more jobs you get. But that's a different story. But yeah, a lot of people will get agents. If you're someone like me who's like a part-time student, part-time worker, well actually I'm technically a full-time student, then getting an agent is a little bit more like, I don't know if you should do it because you'll have to turn down a lot of opportunities, and then having an agent might seem like it's not really worth it. Freelancing is really good, but there are a few drawbacks that I've mentioned. So the other one is working with a studio. This is the one that a lot of people tend to go for because number one, it's safe and you get given a salary. Even if the studio is doing badly and you get like very few clients, you'll still get your paycheck at the end of the month or the week. So it's a lot more safe. You get different benefits in it. If you're in the US, you'll get, health insurance maybe, and a pension fund and stuff. That's one that typically people do. The other benefit of working with a studio is that you get all the experience of working with much more experienced people. So when you get let into a studio, you could be working with like real veterans of animation, and you can pick up all the tricks that they do. So a lot of really successful creators start out working in studios doing the really low jobs. Even if they're extremely talented, they'll tend to start with, in-betweening or cleanup, or if you're in 3D, doing all the odds and ends and stuff. So yeah, that's a really good way to just get into the industry as well. But now I'm going to talk about a few other ways the internet has opened up like dozens of different ways you can make money. It's a real economy in itself, the internet, and it's no different for animators and illustrators either. One that I've been getting some money from, not a lot, but a little bit of money, and I know some animators who are quite popular and they make quite a lot of money on this, is AdSense. AdSense is when you put up an animation somewhere, and for every 1,000 people or so that click and watch that video, they'll also be exposed to the ads, and they might have a chance of clicking on that and buying something. So that creates revenue for you. You get a cut of that ad revenue. But nowadays, it's not really a realistic way that you can make all of your income. AdSense is like a supplement income. It's something to just add on, which is like a nice bonus, but it should not be your game plan. Your game plan should not be around AdSense. If you're someone like Flashgits, who they are like the most popular animated videos ever in the world, they've gone extremely viral with their animations, then maybe AdSense can be your whole source of revenue, because there's just so many people watching your videos that you end up making quite a lot of money from AdSense. But for most of us who don't have that kind of fame, AdSense is not really enough to create a stable income. Putting it in perspective, you have to have like 1 million people watching every one of your videos just to get by, just to pay the bills. And with animation, the thing is, you put a lot of work into each video. It's not like a vlog or something where, you know, you can just pump one out regularly. You have to put a lot of time and effort into your videos. And so as you might tell, my method right now, what I've been doing is I've been creating extra video content, which isn't like completely just on the animation. So it's not just animated videos. I also make sort of behind the scenes videos, and that suits me because I really enjoy learning about behind the scenes stuff when it comes to animation and film production. That means I can create regular videos and get more AdSense, but it's still just a very small amount. It will go up with time, but it's still a very small amount of money that you can make from that. There are a few other methods, and this all ties into YouTube and blogs and things like that. Affiliate marketing is the other thing. So affiliate marketing is similar to AdSense. You get paid to put a product in front of an audience, and then if some of the audience buys that product, then you get a cut of the money. And I've been recently experimenting with this as well, as you might have seen in my last few videos with the books, the book reviews. These are books that I have actually, you know, gone to the markets and bought because I've been really inspired by them. So I have no problem telling people, you know, this book is really good, you should get this because it's helped me a lot. If they buy it, then I get a small amount of money from that. It works well if you have a big audience, and if you don't have a big audience, then it's like a little bit of pocket money. It's not something I would base I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket with this one, but you might as well do it because it's an extra supplement, and all these things add up over time, and it improves your chances of being able to make a living through animation or illustration. So yeah, that's also known as affiliate marketing. So these are affiliate products, and you might also know them as endorsements. Endorsing is kind of like affiliate marketing. So the other one, which I'm doing right now because I really enjoy it, is information marketing. And information marketing is one of these things that you can apply to almost any market. So if there's a craft involved where you need to have learned certain things, then information marketing is a way that you can make a bit of extra money by passing on your knowledge that you've experienced, that you've gained. You can pass that knowledge on to other people and they will pay you for that. It all adds up, the supplemental income, but it's still not gonna cut it. So far from the list of things we've had, I'd say freelancing is the most accessible and is the most likely to actually keep you above debt. This is another one. This is for people who have a cult following. So maybe they've created a series. Someone like David Firth, I can imagine, with the Salad Fingers series. And people know it. It's well known and the characters are well known. And it's kind of created a tribe of people. Another example is Cyanide and Happiness. They've created this tribe and people identify. That is a great opportunity for merchandise sales. So this is things like t-shirts, mugs, prints, key rings, stuff like everyday stuff, but you want it to kind of show your identity and what you enjoy. If you have a series like that and people are starting to follow it with like a tribe following, and they have a little community, like a fan base, and they all fan over your stuff, then merchandise sales is great. Another method, this is pretty far out there, and I wouldn't ever risk any kind of finances on this, but there is kind of reward money and grants and things like that, and public initiatives and benefactors that you can go to for funding for your animation. There are certain film festivals which give rewards to really good animations, and then you can spend that on more equipment and a budget for your next animation. Very unlikely, but you can do it. And then there's also, I went to a school called Farnham. It's a college for animation and design and art. There they had a few of these things where, as the alumni is like people who have gone and studied there, they can apply for extra funding for their animation projects and stuff. And this is quite significant funding. This could be enough to hold you over for a year while you make your animation, which is pretty nice. So if you get one of them, it can be really great. The other thing is sponsorships. So sponsorships nowadays is kind of changing its meaning. A sponsor is just someone who uses your platform as a place to promote their product, and you give them a space on your website. Maybe you have a website with all your animations. It can be sponsored by a company. A good one to be sponsored by would be Adobe for me. If I was sponsored by the Adobe Creative Cloud, because I use all their stuff as well, and the people who watch my stuff also use Adobe Creative Cloud a lot of the time. So that seems like a perfect partnership in that way, and it means that they boost their sales and they pay me some kind of amount to put that on there. The other one that I've been looking at is tuition. Tuition is one-on-one time with me. Again, I'm imagining that a lot of these are either beginner animators or animators who want to sit down with me and learn a specific thing. Maybe they have a specific problem with their animation. They pay for a certain time, they get some one-on-one time with me. You get to talk about your problem, you get to show me your problem, and then I can draw over it if you like and explain what you could have done differently there, or I could draw out the next frame and say, you see, this is what I've done here, and I can critique it, I can give feedback. I am currently offering this, by the way, so if you go onto animatorguild.com, I am offering this service. Referrals is another one. This kind of links into freelancing and commissions. This is one that I've been working with right now. It's kind of slow to start. It's just another supplemental one. It's not one that you can use fully, I think, unless you're a full-blown agency. So referrals are like, a client comes to you, right? And the client says, I've got this project, I need a music video, let's say. I've got a small music video, would you be able to make it within 6 months? And if you look at your schedule and you see, okay, I'm completely fully booked for the next 6 months, I've got 3 other clients that I'm working with. Instead of just telling him, no, I can't, I'm sorry, you can either say, well, if you're willing to wait until this time, then I can. Or you can say to him, I've got a friend who is extremely good at creating music videos and he's looking for work right now. I'll send you his details. And then you can arrange a bargain with your animator friend. I'll give you this client. This client can be yours. You can take the whole commission. All I'll charge is 10% of what you make. From that, you pay to me because he's my client. He sought me out. I've given this to you, but you've got to give the 10%. And that's perfectly legitimate. Businesses do that all the time. There's plenty of businesses who do referrals as a regular thing, and it's just a little bit of extra income, and it's something you can do with the clients. You're helping the client, you're helping your friend who's looking for work, you're helping yourself, so everybody wins from that situation, and it's a great thing to practice. I was trying to do more referrals recently because I'm getting quite a lot of clients contact me, and it's more than I can take on, and they're typically quite big projects, which these big projects I can only take on every once in a while. I've got plenty of opportunities there to make referrals. The problem I'm actually having is with my friends or, associates that I know who are looking for work, with the whole, are they willing to take on the animation? Are they competent enough? Are they actually going to agree on the deal? How do you enforce the deal? How do you make sure you get your percentage at the end? There's lots of questions like that you have to consider. Yeah, I've made it happen a couple of times, but I'm looking to increase it so I can actually make some meaningful amount of revenue from that, because a lot of these ideas, right now in my current state, they do pay, but not that much. And so if you were to take that idea further and say, okay, I'm going to hire people who are going to do this negotiation. We're going to build up a big reputation for ourselves. We're going to build up our clients list. We're going to build up our animator friends list, our associates list, and then our business is going to be making money from joining the two together. What you essentially have there is an agency, and I've considered the idea for creating my own agency, and I'm still considering it. The problem is that if you're an animator and you're creating an agency for yourself, the likelihood is that you'll spend all your time creating this agency and running this agency, because it takes a lot of work to set up these email negotiations. It's all emails, it's all phone calls and stuff like that. And then before you know it, you've stopped animating and you're not actually making animation, which is what you set out to do. I'm kind of hesitant going down this path too much, because it could lead to me just not animating and making a business out of the animation process, yes, but not actually the hands-on animation that I really enjoy, and that's why I'm in this industry. The other one, which I didn't really touch on that much, is getting together with friends. Okay, you've just graduated from university and some of your classmates are also stuck for jobs. They don't know what to do, and you hear that there's a small office space downtown who's looking for someone to move in, and it runs really cheap and you've got very little expenses, just a bit of rent and some bills, electricity bills and stuff like that, and they've already got desk space and stuff. So then you can say to your friend, hey, let's set up our own business, our own a production house. And so you and one or two other animators that you trust very much, you go into there and you start up a business. You set up a website for yourself, you create a group showreel where you put all your work together. So these are your best bits of animation and you put them into a group showreel. So it's that's your studio showreel for now. And then you go into wherever your creative capital is. I live near London, so I would go into London and showcase that to as many agencies as I could find, show them the website, contact as many of them as I can and hope that some of them give you work. There are dangers in this, but there's also great rewards. The rewards are you get to work with your friends. How cool is that? Making cool animations. I mean, who wouldn't want that as a job? I mean, that's brilliant, but it's only providing that someone pays you to do it. So you might love making stop motion animation, but then find that no one actually needs stop motion animation with, puppets and stuff. That can be a problem if you set up a business to fulfill a need, but no one actually needs it. So that's a big problem that certain startup businesses have, is that they create a solution to something that doesn't need fixing. And also the trouble of having enough runway money. So runway is the amount of money you have that can hold you over until you get a paying client who's willing to pay you that amount of money that you need to keep yourself afloat. You've got to kind of put in all your funds together, and if you're animation students and you've just been paying for tuition, that amount of money probably doesn't amount to a lot. There's a risk there. Are you going to go bankrupt before you can pull in a big client, a big corporate client who needs commercial video of some sort? you could, in theory, charge equity. Let's put it in a scenario, shall we? A game studio comes to you and they say, look, we've got programmers, but it's a 2D platformer game. We need the platform designs. We've got a game designer, but he's not very good. We're a startup, we're a small startup. We've never made a game before, but we're confident that this game will revolutionize gaming industry. We're going to put it on Steam and it's going to sell for $10 each. We need all these different sprites. I could say, okay, because you don't have a lot of money and you're a startup, I'll halve my price for you because I know that you don't have the funds right now to pay me the full amount. The rest of it I will buy in equity. So I will buy a certain percentage. When you make profit on your game, you have to pay me. I'm your shareholder, in a way. Let's say it makes a lot more sales than it was anticipated to upon its release. You can make quite a lot of money because you made that agreement with the creator early on, and so you can create extra profit for yourself, and it could be this recurring income where every month you get an invoice from them and they send you money. So that's an extra method that I failed to mention before, but I just wanted to add that in there. I didn't mention Patreon and Kickstarter that much, but I'll say my thoughts on them. And there's plenty of success stories of artists on Patreon who are making all their money from that, and they don't need to do anything else because they have a strong following, and it's a following that's willing to back them with money for every video that they make, and that's brilliant. I think it's a great community. It's possibly the future. Maybe it's just a fad that's going to go out of fashion. Maybe something's going to replace it. Who knows? Before I sign off, it's time for our Animator Spotlight of the week. This week it goes to Breadgun. He's working on an animated series called Color Theory, and it stands out to me as being something with a very unique style, and I like the way he's using geometric shapes and kind of painterly background, and I really like it. I also like how he's given the characters these emotions that we can read even though they have very simple designs with the simple faces. And I like the sounds that he uses and the music to accompany it. So I invite you to go and check out his series. So if you'd like to be in this Animator Spotlight on a future video, just send me an animation that you've been working on. It can be a test, it can be a full animation, and I'll choose one randomly. So yeah, those are the ones that I've listed out. I'd like to know if any of you have any other ideas that you can use the internet or other means to create a working business. I look forward to your responses, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Is 2D animation a dying industry? That's the question I want to talk about today. I want to explore the different answers I could give because it's a very big question. We need to be aware of what we should do to adapt to that. Also, because 2D is somewhat tethered to all